What's going on, guys? It's Tommy from the 1313 podcast, and today I'm bringing you guys another Black Series review. And for today, I'm bringing you the Lucasfilm 50th anniversary General Grievous Black Series figure. And let me just say, I've been seeing some negative things said about this figure, and I feel like a lot of it is unwarranted, so this review is really going to be sort of a defense of General Grievous. So as far as the packaging goes, this packaging is based on the figures that came out for the 2003 Clone Wars 2D animated series by Genndy Tartakovsky. This figure, the packaging looks magnificent. As you can see, you've got that awesome General Grievous art from the show. Love General Grievous in the show. I actually just watched the show back about a week ago and rewatched it. And man, he is just so OP in the show. So much more so than in any other canon Star Wars material. You've also got the clone helmet up here, the Phase 1 clone helmet, the Lucasfilm 50th anniversary logo, and then on the back, you have another image of Grievous himself, as well as a little bio. And then there's the 50th anniversary timeline with all the other goodies on there as well. But I think that's enough on the packaging. Let's get into this monster of a figure. And here he is in all his mechanical cyborg glory. You have the Grievous figure. Now, there's been a lot of bad things said about this figure that I really wanted to kind of point out and kind of counter. First and foremost, I've heard a lot of people say that this figure is the same articulation problems as the original General Grievous figure in the Black Series line. I want to come out and say that I would like to argue against that. As you can see, just posing right now, Grievous is very steady. He's very sturdy. He's not going to fall over. And actually, I can get this guy in a one-legged pose. And while I try to do that, you'll see as well, I did post on our Instagram. So go follow us at 1313_podcast on Instagram. And so I'm going to try to get this guy in a one-legged pose just to, again, this is solely to prove the haters wrong. Obviously, he's got a lot of articulated parts to him. So, it does take a little bit of playing around, as it does with any figure, though. I think that it just goes to show with any action figure, it does take a little bit of work to get him into that one-legged pose. But again, that's what I consider to be a great Black Series figure. And there it is! He's in the one-legged pose. I guarantee you that the original General Grievous figure could never do this. Aside from that, though, it is just the old General Grievous figure. It is from head to toe a reuse of the figure. So if you were looking for a new mold or a new sculpt or anything like that, you would not get it with this figure. I did want to say a couple other things that were updated, though. You'll see the cape is a single layer of fabric. And while some would say this is kind of flimsy, I really like it. I think it makes the cape lay a lot better, especially for General Grievous. The cape is definitely a big part of the character, and it brings a lot of unique style to him. And I feel like the cape on the original General Grievous figure was too big, it was too bulky, and it didn't lay right. However, this figure has it down perfectly. One thing I would have liked to have seen would be some printing on the back with that symbol that's on General Grievous's cape. But I don't know if that's in the animated series. I feel like that's just a thing in live action. So again, that's something I can easily pass. But again, the paint applications as well. A lot of people were saying that this was, a very cheaply done figure. I want to go ahead and just say that's not true. If you look at the head, I'm not sure how well this is going to pick up. You have lots of fine paint details in around the head, on the sides of the head there. And I think that is just a really, really good detail. There's just 3 different shades of silver and like bluish gray there. And I think that the figure just, it looks good. That's the thing that I really want to get across here, is that the figure looks good and it poses well. This is like, when I look at my other General Grievous figure, it's not a figure that I can just do that with, where I just set the figure down and he stays standing up. I had shown this figure off on our podcast about a couple weeks ago before I recorded this, and let me see if I can get him in a couple more dynamic poses. But he just, he poses so well, and there were multiple times where I also had the Muddy Mando figure, which actually Jackson did a review of on the channel. And he would fall over while we were recording, but Grievous did not fall over. I think what gets people with this figure is just how many points of articulation are on him, so it just makes it difficult to pose him. And as you can see, like, yes, I do have to play around with him a little bit, but this is just not fun. But I do have to play around with him a little bit, but, like, look, this is another pose that you can get him into, which, again, I would never be able to get my old General Grievous into. There's just, he always falls over. But again, like, I think that this figure deserves a lot more respect than it's getting, and I think that if you are looking at this figure, and you did what I did, which I got one in box and one out of box, I think it's worth getting. I really do. Like, here's another pose. Like, this pose right here, if you lay the cape right, this one just screams General Grievous from the Tartakovsky series. He's low, he's very acrobatic. Like, come on, man. You just can't get better than that. Yeah, I don't know. There's not much else for me to say, just because this Grievous is from head to toe, sculpt-wise, the exact same figure. Let me see if I can get him on one more, like, one-legged pose here. So let me try to mess around with this. But in the meantime, again, I'm really happy with this figure. I think that for a Black Series interpretation of the animated style, I think they did the colors really well, and I'm going to be honest, I like this one better than I like the original Grievous, not just for the sculpt, but I like him better just because of how he... Look at that. Look at that. Look at how easily this figure just got into a one-legged pose. It's because the joints are stiffer, if I'm being completely honest with you. I think that that's where the original figure missed the mark. A lot of the joints were very loose, and I think that that's why a lot of people don't like it. Whereas this figure, they must have done something differently with the joints. I get a lot more ankle articulation, which is another thing that really helps this figure out. You get a lot of ankle articulation. I mean, just look at this. You get such a bend on that ankle right there. And I think that that really saves this figure too. The joints feel a lot more sturdy. They feel a lot more steady. And yeah, just all in all, like, look at how easy it is to just pose this guy. I mean, yeah, you do have to play around with him a little bit, but that's how it is with any action figure in the Black Series line. And if you want to get that natural looking pose, you do have to play around a little bit, but again, there it is. That's such a cool looking Grievous pose right there, and I didn't even try very hard. So I just kind of wanted to put up this video just to kind of defend the General Grievous figure, and kind of block out the haters. Before I do end this, I did want to say too, they must have made the hands tighter because these lightsabers fit so snugly into the hands. They don't do that, other than this one up here. They don't do that thing where, actually that one's not even doing it right now either, where they jiggle around a lot and they're very loose and floppy. Yeah, I don't know. This figure is just, I'm really impressed with it. It's far superior than the original General Grievous, and if you haven't gotten your hands on it and you get the opportunity to, do it. This figure is a 10 out of 10 figure for me, and I 100% think every collector should get their hands on one. Yeah, other than that, I think that with that being said, I'll put this guy in the frame with him. If you are not already subscribed to the 1313 podcast, do subscribe. We have an awesome Discord server that you can join where we have a lot of friendly fans that talk about everything from action figures, costuming, to, you know, just new Star Wars announcements, everything. We have a little bit of everything, and that's what makes us so special and so unique. Also, follow us on our social media. We have Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at 1313_podcast. And aside from that, at 500 subscribers on YouTube, we are going to be giving away a Bad Batch Rex figure. But yeah, other than that, I really hope that you all enjoyed this video. I hope this swayed your opinion on the General Grievous figure, and I hope you all have an amazing day. And this is Tommy from 1313 signing off.